Very dear students of American literature, today I'm going to record chapter 22 for your benefit, chapter 22 of the novel, The Scarlet Letter by Nathaniel Hawthorne. This chapter may not be that important, but it's a kind of setting of the stage where Dimmesdale and Hester and Pearl would meet and ultimately the end of the novel would come. But before that, the writer prepares us for the stage. So this is the chapter 22. Let's see how the stage is prepared. In the last chapter also we came to know that it is the election day, market day. People have gathered at the marketplace and many people are present there. All types of people are present there, and Dimmesdale is supposed to make a long speech. And when Hester and Pearl are also present there, Hester and Pearl look at the priest Dimmesdale, and Pearl is there to recognize him and ask different questions, which are actually the kind of questions which normally the society would ask, or it's a writer which is asking, and the answers in different shapes are coming to Pearl also. So in that way, the learning about the matter which is between Hester and their priest Dimmesdale and their daughter, and ultimately what the society is thinking about that, all these things are combined together. So in this way, you can start with the reading of the passage which is green in color. Let me make a reading for you. Nevertheless, so abstracted was look, it might be questioned whether Mr. Dimmesdale ever heard the music. There was his body moving onward and with an unaccustomed force, but where was his mind? Far and deep in its own region, busying itself with preternatural activity to marshal a procession of stately thoughts that were soon to issue thence. And so he saw nothing, heard nothing, knew nothing of what was around him, but the spiritual elements took up the feeble frame and carried it along, unconscious of the burden, and covering it to the spirit like itself. Men of the uncommon intellect who have grown morbid possess this occasional power of mighty effort, into which they threw the life of many days and then are lifeless for as many more. So this passage goes to talk about two important things in it. Number one thing is that two words are created now around Mr. Dimmesdale. One word is the physical word in which he's making a speech as a priest for the people, and another word is a different word, abstract word, where he's thinking himself to be alone, and that is why the writer goes to say that there was nothing which could attract him. For example, if you look at the lines in the end of this passage, you can see that the lines are saying he saw nothing, heard nothing, knew nothing of what was around him. So in this way, he is gradually relaxing back and going into the situation where the world cannot treat him in that way as he has been treated so far. We also have a different interpretation of this passage when we look at the things being said in the passage, that he was experiencing a kind of force in him. It may be like the light of the dying lamp, but the force was there. The writer tries to explain that this man was feeling an extraordinary force, and that is why he was making a very wonderful kind of speech, and perhaps it didn't match with the power, weakening power which the priest had. But whatever the case was, priest had made a very wonderful speech, and now he was standing just at near the same place where the procession was to pass, the procession of the priests and the fathers, very much relegated, very much beautiful and decorated procession. But he was not concerned with that, although he was also supposed to pass through the same pass as a part of the same procession, because he was also a priest. But it was not going to happen. Instead, he was lost in his own word. So let us see what further things happen in order to prove a point. So we can see by going deep into the next passage and see what was happening. Pearl either saw and responded to her mother's feeling, or herself felt the remoteness and intelligibility that had fallen around the minister. While the procession passed, the child was uneasy, fluttering up and down like a bird on the point of taking flight. When the whole had gone by, she looked up into Hester's face. Mother, said she, was that the same minister that kissed me by the brook? Hold thy peace. Dear little Pearl, whispered her mother, we must not always talk in the marketplace. What happened in the forest? I could not be sure that it was he. So strong looked, and else I would have run to him and bade him kiss me now before all the people, even as he did yonder among the dark old trees. What would had the minister have said, mother? Would he have clapped his hands over his heart and scowled on me and bid me be gone? So that's the passage which goes to show how does the child look at the world and how do the grown-up people look at the world. The child is Pearl, and she is looking at the priest who's making a speech, and she is trying to recognize him, And ultimately, her mind says that she has recognized him, and that is why she puts a question to Hester whether is the same priest, or if it's the same, then he should come and kiss her in the same way as he tried to kiss her in the forest. At that time, the mother says that she should not talk like that. It means that here are also two words. One is the word of the forest, other is the word in the marketplace. The forest word is dark, is lonely, is in privation, and so nobody can look at that. The marketplace is full of people, so everybody can have a look at that. So that is why Pearl is the connecting link between the two. Further word, Pearl lives in forest, Pearl lives in darkness, Pearl lives in isolation. And that is why she cannot be the part of the minister. She cannot receive the love from minister in the daylight. And that is what the difference is going to be. Why Pearl is unable to understand. So that is why she's putting such questions. That not only goes to reveal the tension which existed in her mind and the mother's mind, but also it goes to reflect what the society is saying, what the society is thinking. And that is the way of the word. If the things have been done in the darkness, then definitely these things happen. If the things have been done in the light, I mean, by showing the people, telling the people at that time, the things are quite different. So, in this way, more light is thrown not only through the character of Pearl, but also through the character of Mrs. Hibbins. Mrs. Hibbins, also in this paragraph, as she's a magician, is found to be knowing something about the meeting of Hester and Dimmesdale in the forest. So that is why she comes again and again and tries to say that this man is the same one, and that is why Pearl should recognize him. So that is why another evidence is given that Pearl remembers Dimmesdale is the same man, and something is going to happen because of which the character of priest would come forward. And therefore, Minister, couldst thou surely tell Hester whether he was the same man? So Hibbins put the same question to her in order to arouse her feeling more and more. As this Pearl becomes even more upset, even more, she is thinking to see whether the things are not. If the intervention is done by Hester, she comes forward and tries to rescue her daughter from Mrs. Hibbins and tries to hide all the truth, as she has been trying to hide the truth in the last 7 years. And the truth is definitely to come out. If it has come in the mind of Pearl, in the mind of Hibbins, that can come in the mind of anybody. And this is Dimmesdale himself who will bring all the truth forward. So that is why we should go deeper and see in this chapter if this thing happens, or we have to wait for the next chapter to come. The writer also throws light on the Puritan New England of that time, which was existed in America, the trade which they did, the weapons they had, the peoples and their control they had, and in that way, different types of people have been talked about. Many Indians have been also seen through the eye of Pearl, and their description has been done, and many slaves also. All these things have been talked about in order to show what type of peoples were there. These people, even if slave, even if weak, were able to move about with their fearless attitude. But in case of Hester, it was not possible, because here the matter of religion was there, the matter of social contacting was there. That had become very much important in the age of Puritan age of New England in America at that time. So in this way, the situation continues with the description of different people, how the things have been said by the priest on the pulpit, what was the situation, what he was going to do. The procession has passed and is passing up to some extent, and Dimmesdale is not ready to go with the procession. He instead stops there. So that is the chapter 22. Next time, inshallah, we will be doing with chapter 23, and in that way, two more lectures will be there, and the whole novel would be complete. So I would like to say that if my students are getting any benefit out of these lectures, they are encouraged to hit the subscribe button as well as the like button, and post some of their comments if they have. But it's very much necessary that they can understand this novel as well as possible. So till some next video, thank you for watching, and keep happy, keep peaceful, keep loving. So nice of you.